Welcome, Dr. Mahadevappa.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. Greetings to everybody. On behalf of Heartfulness Institute and American Telugu Association, we are very happy to invite all our panel members and members of Telugu Association of entire North America, including ATA, TANA, and members of our API physician group, and our Heartfulness members from all over USA and everywhere. We are grateful to Revered Daaji that he's able to join us today on this panel. We invite several guests, several practicing members onto this spiritual panel so they can interact with Daaji and submit a question. So we welcome all the members of our panel, Dr. Skip Leeds, Mrs. Barbara Leeds, Shri Madhav Durbagaru from Seva, Dr. Mahadevappa Punasikatti Garu from API, and I think we are still waiting for Shri Srikanth Gundavarapu Garu from Seva. Once Revered Daaji is here. Namaste, Master.
My pranams to everyone. And the Kini Namaskaram.
Thank you, Master.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you permit, I can introduce the panel to you and then depending on your time.
Thank you.
Yeah. So today on panel, we have Dr. Skip Leeds from Wright State University, Mrs. Barbara Leeds. We have Dr. Mahadevappa Punasikatti from API. We have Shri Madhav Durba. He is the incoming president of Seva organization and of Atlanta chapter. We are still waiting on Shri Srikanth Gundavarapu Garu. He is the outgoing president of Seva Atlanta chapter and also the incoming national VP of Seva organization. And we have our ATA board members, our ATA president Madhu Bamineni Garu, Sunny Reddy Garu, several of them. So Madhu, if you would like to unmute and say hello to Master, then we can ask the panel to submit their questions. Thank you, Master.
Pranam, Daaji. It's
Pranam, Madhu.
Great to be in your presence again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we're still reeling over. When you accepted our invitation to come to the conference, we're so grateful and we're so happy. Everybody on the team is just looking forward to it. Your visit, and we're preparing. Thank you.
I'm also looking forward to our visit to ATA meeting, and of course meeting many of our associates.
Yes.
I have not seen for last, God knows, 7 years in US.
More than
Unfortunately, this COVID situation and also my health situation, on top of that, the hectic work that is going on at Kanha and in India especially, that keeps me really, really engaged. But I'm really looking forward to my visit to ATA especially. And I'm making this trip because you have overwhelmingly convinced me with the battalion of 40 people coming. So how can I say no to such hearts? So I'll be there. I'll be there. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Skip Leeds, if you can unmute yourself and submit your question to Revered Daaji.
Thank you, Daaji. I'm grateful for for taking my question.
Thank
After one second. Okay. Sorry, Barbara and I are in the same room.
No,
and
no,
we're
no. Don't worry, please.
I came to the Heartfulness system, or what was we were then calling Sahaj Marg, I think 12 years ago, after having studied quite a few different other meditation systems. It's been a happy home for me. But what I wanted to ask is, Daaji, is there a role for pranayama and breathing practices within the confines of our heartfulness system?
Definitely, it has a tremendous role to play. And especially if you try to settle down with an idea that after I complete this asana or after I finish this pranayam, I'm going to meditate. That will change the course of meditation. It will take you to greater depths, actually. But we don't insist that person must do it. That's because most of people are already struggling with time for meditation. And if you say, oh, why don't you also do some breathing exercise and some yogic postures? Well, all are important. And then people, they will choose based on their convenience. Then they will always choose what is easier. And they'll say, okay, meditation can come later. So we incorporate meditation first. And as we see the benefit and we begin to master this idea of meditation, and it holds a primary position in your life, then you can include pranayama and asanas without compromising time on your meditation. And I have often seen this. Either I read a book or do some pranayama exercise. It has changed the course of my meditation. Yeah. Even now, when I do some breathing exercise and then sit quietly for a few minutes and meditate, it's a different meditation. It takes you to a different levels altogether. Somehow, along with our heart and along with this breathing, the vagus ventral nerve is doubly stimulated. Then see, not only just by the heart, but also the breathing patterns and overall help we take through our physiology and neurology. Everything comes together, and our transmission. Lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Barbara, if you would like to unmute and submit your question to Daaji, please.
Daaji, I am grateful for this system and I'm grateful for you. My question has to do with our opening prayer. I continue to work with gaining a deeper understanding of every word in that opening prayer. O Master, thou art the real goal of human life. We are yet but slaves of wishes, putting bar to our advancement. Thou art the only God and power to bring us up to that. Oh, now I'm losing the end, but my question is for the first part. Can you help me gain a deeper understanding to thou art the real goal of human life?
Thank you. It's a very fundamental question for our understanding. And once we understand the words, we can create the environment inside, kind of attitude inside, to follow the feelings it creates in our heart. Number one stumbling block in understanding the goal of life is the master itself, the words master. according to our master Babuji Maharaj, he used to say that only master is God. Right? And when we take it in that way, and when we make that as the real goal of human life, God is generally understood by individuals, like I would say large part of humanity, as an individual, as a person, or some entity, or some force. And when we talk of a force, we start imagining that it's a localized force, somewhere in some holy place or in some other holy dimensions. No. My personal experience shows that that cosmic power is everywhere. There is not a place existing on this, in this universe, whether it is physical dimension or unmanifested invisible dimension. It is there all the time. Modern science calls it as quantum field. It doesn't matter what we call it. We call it quantum field, energy field, divine field, love field. Okay. What we are trying to attain through this understanding is to incite that quality within us. Quality, when we understand what is the quality of God, whatever comes to your mind first, to your heart first, take that. Often understood it as love. God is love. And when we focus my heart and say, okay, oh Master, it should trigger the feeling of bubbling my heart with love. And when I dive in meditation with this idea that love is the real goal of my life, and it is not, often we talk of love as you want to gain something, or I want to love someone, or the world. No, that will also be the wrong goal. Idea is to become love. This has to be understood also. Loving or being loved, these are verbs, processes, and they have limits. Then we begin to choose. Okay. Experiencing love, mother's love, father's love, our partner's love, children's love, our friend circle's love, colleagues. Okay, they have love, but of a different level. I mean, it's the same vibrations manifesting in a different way. For example, the love that I get from my mother, love that I get from my friends, love that I get from my spouse, from my children. Okay, it's the same energy, but it manifests with a different quality. With your spouse, it can be the pinnacle of romance and togetherness. With your children, extreme, I would say, compassion, care, kindness, everything comes together when it comes to children. Nothing is left out there when we begin to love our children. Right? So, and when it comes to God, right, we begin loving that unknown entity. Now, it's fascinating because we don't really know what God is, as whether it is individual or a cosmic energy or this or that. So our even qualitatively, except for love, what do we know about that entity? We can say it's the original source of this universe, original source of this creation. I mean, my life exists today because that life force keeps me going from my birth, even from the time of conception. It creates a wave of my life, and then it continues until the last breath. And we are all grateful for that period of conception until death. Often people remain grateful to the God outside, but He's within. So the prayer and our efforts to understand that real goal is in my heart. I should not search that goal in persons, in so-called masters like Babuji or Lalaji or Daaji or no. They are your punching bags. They are there. They are there to exercise. You are there to experiment your love with them and master that while interacting with them. This guy is going to hurt you, the masters, because they play with your ego also, so that they smoothen it and makes us fit as a dedication to the Almighty, that we have worked together in this partnership as the pilgrims on the path. I like to call that, we are all together on this pilgrimage to the ultimate destination. Usually the masters, now when we talk of our guides, they remain behind actually and pushes the traveler, you go. I have to bring more people. You keep going. So in that spirit, many people who follow spirituality and have guides, they go ahead of guides. Because gurus by choice keep themselves behind so that others can be helped. You see, now that is about it answers twin questions. The other one you did not ask. Is master the God. See? But that answers you in a very indirect way. He is not God. But as we interact more and more at a personal level, more and more at invisible transmission level, when we meditate and we receive transmission, and how this energy exchange happens between myself and that entity we call guide or the master. There's a subtle exchange at a very, let's call it as at a subtle body level. Yeah. And because of that osmosis, if you understand the concept of osmosis, the solutes and solvents and how there's a balance. And likewise also, when I am in tune with someone, and if that happens to be divinity or divine personified, imagine for a moment if you were in the company of Lord Jesus, right? Or such giant personality, and you are rubbing shoulders with such a personality. How can you escape the vibrations, energy vibrations from such an individual? It is going to affect you in a very positive way. And more we listen to such personality like Jesus, we create more and more vacuum within us, and they slowly enter into our being. Then that divinity starts to manifest even through us, and we become divine in the process. So there is an exchange. Putting bar to our advancement, we talk about wishes. Can there be a life even of Lord Jesus without any wish? I don't think so. He would like to say, my father, I'm bringing a lot of folks with me. I like to bring as many as I can with me, or I can send before I come to you. They are safely delivered. That's also a wish. When I am walking around in the desert, I am thirsty. Am I not going to look for some water? Is that not a wish? I need some decent clothes, a cap in this cold winter in Hyderabad. Okay. So wishes are inevitable part of human existence. This prayer says, a fact that wishes are barred to my advancement. And I have to simply recognize it. Don't fight with it. I have to recognize. Don't fight that, oh, it's if I fulfill my wish and it's God is going to stop showering his grace on me. No, that's not correct. He created this digestive system. I have to take care of the digestive system. Unless I do that, how will I take care of the body? Right? But to insist that I must have pizza morning, evening, and afternoon, then you're insisting. Then you begin to demand. So we curb at some level. So there has to be some level of moderation. See, I know deep down in my heart that wishes are there. And as long as I keep on wishing after wishing after wishing after wishing, there is no end to it. And constantly going after fulfilling this bucket list of wishes. Can my heart remain grateful? Gratefulness is the key word in our association with divinity. If I have a demand, a wish is a very subtle demand. And when I entertain that, I become ungrateful. I am not admiring what has already been given. So that's the idea behind the whole prayer, that many people they ask, oh, how is it possible? And then they can't go beyond the second line. And the third statement, thou art the only God and power to bring us up to that stage. This idea arises out of gratefulness. Once you recognize that I have to become divine, love, kind, compassion, the goal of life. And when I come up with this idea that what is it that is stopping me to arrive at that? Right? So we say, without your help, I can't make it. So there is this idea of surrender. Surrender is badly understood word in English especially, because when you say I surrender, that means, oh, I'm defeated now and somebody is victorious. No. In Sanskrit, especially in India, we believe that it's a saranagati. Saranagati means I am at the feet of the Lord. I am in the lap of my mother. It's a joyful submission to lay naked in the arms of your mother, carefree, absolutely in admiration. That is true surrender, that my mom, I can't live without you. Without your help, I can't grow. And that sentiment has to arise in our heart when we offer this prayer and we say, my mother or my God or my father, whatever you like to have the relationship. We have to have some bond, either as a father and children, or made a friendly relationship, or like a mother and child. So we have to, best relationship is mother and child. We have to consider God as mother, the master, the qualitatively. Also, when you address as mother, it's the best. Because mother can never cheat you, never can harm you. Father can be tricky. So I hope I have completed the importance of the prayer. And you see, after some time, words which are given to us, they simply drop off. See, when Babuji received this prayer, how did he receive? He received this as a feeling first. It creates the feeling, it arouses the feeling in your heart. And that you are able to transcribe, translate in your own words. Okay. Now we are using the words to create the original feeling that he had, that master, the problem, and the solution. The goal, the problem, and the solution. See? So we have to create it heartfully through feelings that my inner cry is to attain that goal, to become divine, and to recognize in our own mind what is it that is creating problems. Don't use the word generically, wishes. Identify your bucket list that is actually creating the problem. And say, drop them. And try this for 1 week. Try to lead a life without any desire, any wish. Just let go and see how it happens, how it grounds us. And this attitude of laying in mother's lap, it's a wonderful feeling. So it's not just words, but we are creating that feeling inside our heart at that moment. That's why in India, it's tragically, many people get offended when I talk. They recite mantras. Recitation means they'll do it 108 times. They have those beads and keep on counting those beads. And if someone calls you by phone, then you pause the beads and answer the phone. And how are you ever going to create the inner, that resonance with the words, trying to create the feeling? You are too busy counting the beads or reciting the words. Whether you say Lord Jesus or Mata Saraswati or Lakshmi or Ganesha or Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. By reciting Om Shanti, you're never going to get Shanti. Stop reciting, then you'll be Sant. Then you'll be at peace. And create that vacuum inside, that pause inside. Otherwise, it happens generally when you call someone. I'm giving you the example of a prayer. Prayer is a call to God, right? And often we call because we are in trouble. We want something. Only then we call. Based on our pressing needs, we end up calling. Okay. When you make a phone call to someone, we don't call it a prayer. I say, oh, I made a phone call. Okay. And if I say, Barbara, and I keep talking to you, I keep talking to you, keep talking to you, and I don't even listen to Barbara, what would you think? Would you pick up my phone next time?
If it were you, I would.
No, but if I don't let you talk. You see, there are husband-wife relations are also like that, some of them. She keeps on at it, talk, 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 talk. Poor husband has to go on listening. And he cannot hang up also. Otherwise, there won't be a dinner at home. What I'm trying to say, when you keep on demanding, I want this, I want that, our prayers are only that. My son is misbehaving, my husband is misbehaving, he's coming late, he's having extramarital affairs, my children are on drugs. These are real problems. But at least for that few moments, I have to have a right way of communicating, communion with God. Communion doesn't mean I have to talk. I have to be in resonance. And that too with gratefulness. That means without any demands. That means no wishes. Don't express your wish. On one side, we say God knows everything. And we remind, I don't have this. Please send it to me. It's an insult. But people have taken this in a very light way. Religious people, they have taken it in a very light way. And they go on doing things life after life. And they suffer as a result of it. See. There is no right way of approaching. In Indian tradition, especially from Gita and also in Upanishads and Vedas, these are holy texts. And many religions in the world, including Christianity, say God dwells within the heart. Love oozes from the heart. And we try to worship God outside. And there is convenience in worshipping God by keeping Him outside. It's very convenient. If you keep God inside your heart and try to listen to Him all the time, He'll say, God, leave me alone. Suppose God says, Barbara, I'm going to spend 1 week with you, 24/7. You'll say, God, you're interfering with my life. You're constantly nagging me. Don't do this, don't do that. This don't do will be often there, see. And we get fed up. And that's why people don't like to entertain that godliness in the. It's better in some corner of the house or some temple or some church. You are safe. You are at peace. But keeping God inside your own heart, He's going to create a lot of troubles for you. And that's why they say no meditation. Especially Hindus, though this yoga, meditation, dhyana is a product from India, the most Indians don't like to meditate. They have heard the word, but none of them I have seen are inclined to meditate because they think, what if I stop worshipping Venkateshwara, one of the names of gods? They're afraid. They're afraid of gods. And they say we love God. There's a contradiction. They're afraid, they fear. So they approach temples, they worship statues and murtis out of fear and out of temptation. There's a very hilarious thing that happened very recently during these recent elections in this state. And there is a very famous temple in this state called Tirupati. And like Republicans, Democrats, everyone, we have half a dozen parties in India. We don't have Republicans or Democrats, but there are about half a dozen of them. And all of them, all the leaders, they go to this Venkateshwara in Tirupati. They bow, they give promises and all kinds of things. They throw some cash, gold, and make a business transaction with this God that if I win, then I'll do this and this and this. And everybody goes. God will be in quandary. He will be so confused whom to make as a winner. Who shall win this election? God will be really confused. But anyway, what I'm trying to say, you got the point. That people are very selfish when it comes to prayers, when it comes to worship, when it comes to becoming divine. They don't think of becoming divine, because there's a danger there. I lose my freedom to do all the tricky things we do in our day-to-day life. So sorry, Andhra Garus.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank
Master, we have 3 more people on the panel. Would you be able to accept one more question or 2 more?
you. No, go ahead. I'll be short now.
Okay. No, that was very profound. We are grateful. So, Shri Madhav Darbagaru from Seva is the president of Seva Organization of Atlanta chapter. If you're on the panel, sir, can you please unmute?
Sure.
Namaskar.
Pranam Daaji, namaste. Wonderful discussion. The question on my mind is, we are in the age of digital now. We have apps for meditation. We can listen to learned people like you. I can tune into YouTube and listen to you. So we becoming spiritually digital or digitally spiritual, however you look at it, is this something that we should embrace? Or is this something that we should resist, this whole transition to digital?
When you love someone, let's see, I'll give you romantic examples are well understood by people. Were you ever in love during your school time? When you were a
Sure.
teenager, you were, right?
Sure.
Did you sleep without remembering her?
Probably not.
So, and every opportunity you get to be with her, you would not miss. Even if you have to sneak out of your house at 2 o'clock in the morning and try to meet her somewhere in the park, you would do that. Even if she sends you a dried rose, you would admire it so much and you'll keep it in the books, and allow it to dry. And perhaps some people, they carry it even after marriage. Not only the rose dried petals, but also such a person holds a special place in your heart. The first love, no one forgets. Even if you end up marrying somebody else, the first love is always the best. It surpasses nothing. And you can't get rid of it just like that. Now, why I'm giving you this example, anything that reminds you of your beloved is most welcome. Whether it comes through a digital phone or somebody tells you, let's meditate together verbally, or you are in the person's presence directly, any excuse will do. Anything to make me better is welcome. And that's the only freedom I have to become better, is the only freedom I have. To become worse and terrible, no God can give me that permission. And to do the right thing, no God can stop me from doing the right thing. And in love relationship, especially when it comes to spirituality, anything and everything will do. Whether it is digital or not digital, quantum or non-quantum, localized or cosmic, doesn't matter.
Thank you,
Master.
Daaji.
Thank you, Madhava.
Dr. Mahadeva Pagaru is a critical care pulmonary specialist, sleep specialist, and he's with US FDA. Doctor, please unmute.
Namaskaram, sir. Namaskaram.
Namaste, Pranam Daaji.
Pranam,
I
sir.
prayed God all my life, as you said, like many Indians do. Sometimes when I do meditation, I get doubts about the divinity. But meditation helps me. So that's why I practice for so long. My question is, if God exists, why do bad things happen in the world? For example, Russia-Ukraine war or atrocities of Hamas on Israeli women and children or Kashmir conflict. It is heartbreaking to see these atrocities. Why is God keeping quiet? I understand it has to be within, but it's difficult to conceptualize. Is there any solution? How can I bring back the faith for me, at least during meditation, so that I have no doubts about the divinity? I'm trying.
You see, when God created this universe, he made a big mistake. Creating human beings and giving them the absolute freedom to whatever they want to do. You must have seen some thugs or dacoits in some backward districts where they worship Kali before they go out in murdering people. Does Kali stop anyone? It has never happened. Did God stop Hitler? It didn't happen. So we are responsible in many ways for our actions. God will never interfere. If you see war of Mahabharata that happened almost 5,000 years before, then Lord was himself present. He could not stop the war, though he tried his best. So there are many human agencies today in the world, the peace lovers. They are also trying their best. They are also the messengers of God. But nothing is succeeding, and it will not succeed. Otherwise, it becomes a kind of a spiritual rape. If a spiritual person enforces peace, that's not peace then. If you send somebody to heaven by force against his wishes, oh, he said, I love the hell. And you're working against and say, please go to heaven. There is Jesus there is Moses there is Krishna there waiting. But as I was giving you the example, that what if Lord is with you 24/7? How long can you tolerate Lord? You can't. Unless and until we become pure and loving, you cannot tolerate God. What is compassion and what is passion? Passion is something we use others for our pleasure. Compassion is something where you consume yourself for others' pleasure. Passion is something where you use the force when it comes to a situations like rape. You're taking advantage of the other for your own fulfillment. You cannot use the force even to transform anyone else. Can you slap your son or a daughter and say, you stupid fellow, why don't you meditate?
No.
It will not work. So how is Putin going to hear you or Mr. Khan somewhere in Pakistan going to listen to you? When your own children cannot listen to you, how in the world these leaders going to listen? God doesn't interfere, sir. And this is how we make our own destiny. We create our own destiny. It's not in the hands of God's. He has given every opportunity, every, I would say, levels of potential. You use that potential either for good or for bad. It's up to you how you use it. And that's the beauty of this world, beauty of this universe. Just as the master of caliber takes us forward beyond his level of consciousness and chooses to remain behind. Likewise, God also, when we attain that level, he said, you go further. I have to maintain this universe. So when we talk like that you are going beyond God, people laugh at you. But no God will be happy by keeping you at his equal. Like you have children, sir?
Yes, Daaji. Two
Okay,
girls, two daughters.
lovely. In your heart of hearts, you would wish they become better than you, know?
Oh, yes. I want them to be better than me in all respects.
Why would God would wish that you are lesser than him? So there is always this feeling. This always he takes us for, but we choose not to take his help. By choice, we deny his involvement in our life. Though we admire, though we pray, though we meditate, but it is not authentic. Until that authentic, sincere urge, that craving, that hunger arises in your heart, we cannot be totally transformed from inside out. Every atom of your being has to be transformed. First, drop selfishness, desires, ego. All these three statements, as Barbara was mentioning in the prayer statement, they are all there. Recognize your goal, find out what is troubling, and what is the solution. Solution is only Mamekam Saranam Raja. It sounds very egoistic because you see, Buddha also said, Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Be at my, follow me.
Yeah.
Lord Jesus also says, follow me. Krishna says, surrender to me. It sounds, as a teenager, I used to think, these guys are very egoistic. But they are not, they are realistic. That unless we do that, nothing can happen.
Thank you, Master. We
Dhanyavad.
have one last question.
And
Shrikant Gundavarapu garu is the outgoing president of Seva Atlanta chapter and incoming national vice president of Seva. Shrikant, can you please unmute and
Namaskaram. Bhai.
Namaskaram, Daaji. Pranam. So, being with Seva, we believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is like serving humanity, serving God, and which is like like when we go, as you said, like giving compassion, showing compassion, reducing the selfishness, is one dimension, which is more of externalities. I mean, like going outside your own self and doing it. And how does dhyana meditation for our volunteers and population in general can balance this out, your external world towards the inner world? And how can we coexist? Like, sometimes because our senses are so powerful, we are driven in so many 100 different ways, whether it is like, happiness, sadness, the blame, the praise, as Gita says, like the cold and heat, these dualities. And how can, like, we strengthen with dhyana? So,
Thank you. I'm glad you posed this question, and your question is loaded with answers also.
Yes.
Within your question, there are a lot of answers. When you talk of dualities, the dualities exist, the solution is already there. Transcend the dualities. Right. Easier said. How to transcend dualities? Okay. When we bring in yoga into the whole equation, yoga means to unite my present level of consciousness with the ultimate. Okay. Ultimate consciousness, let us see, it has certain percentage of purity or certain quality to it. Unless and until I have that level of quality, I cannot merge. It's like oil and water. Can oil merge with water? They can be together infinitely, but they can never become one. If I throw a drop of water on the ocean, it will be there floating forever.
Mhm.
So our existence, though we are rubbing shoulders with God, we can never merge in God until and unless we become qualitatively at that level. Dhyana helps us to attain such level of purity and simplicity. As we move from one chakra, yogic chakra, to another chakra, to next chakra, so this is how we transcend dualities. Because, for example, heart chakra
Mhm.
had certain dualities. Atma chakra had certain dualities. Likewise, fire or Agni chakra, Jala chakra, Vayu chakra. And then these are 5 basic dualities that we are entrapped. Once we transcend this and we enter beyond this Agya chakra, we attained a kind of liberation. Okay. Now the duality that is played out at the heart, restlessness versus contentment. Okay. At Atma chakra, a peace against its opposite. Here at the third chakra, there is some sort of compassion. And against it, there is another quality where you become so cruel.
Mhm.
The fourth chakra is all about the courage, fearlessness, and fearfulness. Another duality there. See? Similarly, confusion versus clarity at the Vayu chakra. And going beyond all this. But once we transcend these Panch Bhutas or Panchagnis, we attained a state of liberation. And you see, now coming to Seva means to serve. Each one of us serve at a different level
Mhm.
based on our capacities. We have a potential of rising above our present level. And we continue to rise stage after stage after stage. So this journey of progressively evolving ourselves, incrementally refining our consciousness, is one way of serving others better.
Mhm.
See, empathy, compassion, kindness, or kind acts, they are at a different level. You see, some people, they empathize, but there is no compassion.
Mhm.
They feel sorry, oh, so many people are hungry in Africa. And that's an end of it. They don't think more than that. Compassion, likewise. Kindness, incrementally you are getting involved in someone else's life to make it better, right? Gandhian principle, for example, non-violence. It's good not to hurt someone else. It's a very good idea. But is it everything? I suppose we are friends. You are sick in the hostel. We are roommates. I'm not hurting you. Is it enough? I have to
No.
help you.
Mhm.
I have to go to the next level beyond non-violence. My efforts must not stop there. I may feel compassion, but what are you going to do next? And are you capable of doing the things next? What can you do a person who is depressed, romantic failure, or depressed because he lost $10 million in business? depressed because he lost his wife, or someone lost her husband, would you try to become her husband?
No.
Would you give $10 million to a person who lost 10 million in business? So we
No.
have to increase our capacities as much as possible. And serving a fellow who is hungry, who doesn't have clothes, we should not pride in ourselves that I did something good.
Mhm.
It is my duty to do something. To serve from the highest level is to serve from a spiritual level, where they become self-sufficient. When we talk of 17 SDG goals, Sustainable Development Goals by United Nations, right? It's a pollution control at many levels, right? Equal rights, women welfare, things like that. What is the root cause of all the disturbances with all the 17 sustainable development goals? Let's take 2, 3 examples. One is air pollution. What is the cause of air pollution? Industrialists, by and large.
Greed. Yeah.
Right? It's the greed.
Mhm.
Water pollution, again greed.
Greed.
Land pollution, it's
Greed.
greed.
Mhm.
Right? So the root cause is here because you're not thinking correctly. And how can you think correctly unless you have some level of intuition? And you can gather this intuition only through meditation. People now and then do get intuitions, but they are accidental. But if you want to be inspired from within on a daily basis, from moment to moment basis, then I have to remain meditative. And meditative state is a product of meditation. Meditation, I may be doing 5 minutes or half hour in the morning, but then it should result in meditative state that can continuously keep inspiring me from inside 24/7. See? Now you're carrying that divinity within you by becoming more and more meditative. See? So dhyana helps beyond one imaginations.
Yes.
People say, what the hell do you do closing your eyes? You're not doing anything for the universe. But you do so much when you close your eyes because you're guided from within. At least you will stop hurting the nature and others around you. Because you may hurt once or a while, but your sensitivity will increase so much that you will stop hurting others even by words.
Very true. Thank you, Daaji.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. So,
Thank you, Master. Our questions are over.
thank you. Now we'll all agree. Now we meditate.
Yes, Master.
Yes.
Uma Garu, as usual, when the satsang is over, I'll start the satsang now.
Yes,
I hope
Master.
everyone is familiar with how to meditate. Okay, so let's all meditate now. Please begin.
That's all. Thank you all for joining the session today. Would like to especially thank our panel members, Dr. Skip Leeds, Barbara Leeds, Shri Shrikant Gundavarapu garu, Shri Madhav Darba garu, and Dr. Mahadevappa garu, and our ATA members, board members, our ATA President Madhu Bamineni garu, Sunil garu, Srikant garu, several board members that have joined. And we are all very grateful to ATA leadership for making this possible. Their hearts pulling revered Daaji to United States after almost 8 years. So we are truly grateful for our efforts from ATA leadership to travel to India to welcome revered Daaji. Because when a great personality like our Daaji, our dear master, comes to this country, those of us who cannot travel will benefit immensely from his presence, personal presence. So with ATA leadership, we will try to make best efforts to make this a good event. Due to Basant Panchami in February, we will not have an ATA meeting with revered Daaji, but we will hopefully we will meet with him in March. Madhu garu, if you can unmute, if you're.
I just want to say thank you all for joining today, and thank you, Mary. And then we continue to do locally, and then we'll also look forward to seeing everyone again in March.
Madhav garu and Krishna, Sunny, if you have anything to share, please, you're welcome to unmute.
Don't have anything, only thank you. Thank you for this.
Thank you, Andy.
And
Glad to be.
sincere thanks. Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Sunny, go
Namaskar,
ahead.
Andy. Yeah, thanks, Andy. Thanks for inviting us, and thanks to Ravi Venkateshan ji, Heartfulness Center of Atlanta, to invite Seva International, and we look forward to collaborating with Daaji and the ATA as well. Thank you. Namaskar.
Yeah, we are very grateful, and we are also looking forward to collaborating to serve our people more and more, empowering
Yes.
them with this technique of meditation and the transmission, especially the pranahuti that we receive
Yes.
from the Guru's consciousness, which will help us to become better servants. Thank you so
Yes.
much. Thanks,
Thank you.
Seva organization.
I think
Namaskar.
you want to say something, Sunny?
Dhanyawad.
Go ahead. Mahadevappa garu, did you want to say something?
No, Dhanyawad. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Go ahead, Madhu. And
No, Sunny was going to say something, so just wanted to make sure that he has an opportunity.
No, I just said thank you. Glad to be here. Nice to see you, Madhavana, and everybody, Umagaru. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for your immense support. That now I cannot say ATA and Heartfulness. I feel like we're all one.
Yes,
So,
agreed. Agreed.
Yes.
so see you all. We will close the
Yeah.
meeting.
Namaskar. Yeah.
Thank
Shubham.
you. Thank you, Barbara and Skip. What is your question?